Oh man, this entity just hopped out of a UFO in Area 51 and did an interview with Nesta Gibbs on The Boxing Voice. All jokes aside, this is a good interview with Shelley Finkel, the manager of Deontay Wilder, on The Boxing Voice. I highly recommend it. Credit to Finkel because he keeps it real about DAZN. He's objective about it. He says he doesn't think DAZN is going to succeed, but he sincerely hopes that it does succeed. Why? For the reasons I've given. Because it's good for boxing if DAZN succeeds. It gives fighters more options. It allows fighters to be more active. It gives fans more options in terms of being able to access and watch boxing. Only a deluded fanboy, not a real boxing fan, only a deluded fanboy would hope for DAZN to fail. If you're a real boxing fan, you're hoping DAZN succeeds. Not because you give a damn about Eddie Hearn's pockets. Eddie Hearn was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. To hell with his pockets. No. If you're a real boxing fan, you hope DAZN succeeds because you want fans to have greater options. You want boxing to get more exposure, and you want the fighters to have more opportunity to be active and make money. That's how real boxing fans feel about it. Anyway, getting on to some other stuff that Shelley Finkel said in this particular interview. He was asked, I'm not sure if it's in this interview, I can't remember now, because I've watched several Shelley Finkel interviews over the past few days. He did an interview with Boxing Social, and he also did an interview with IFL. And in one of the interviews, Shelley Finkel is asked about the Tyson Fury fight. And in fact, I think it's the Boxing Social interview. I think. He's asked when the talks began with Tyson Fury's team with a view to making Wilder versus Fury. And contrary to what Fury said, because Fury is acting like this Wilder Fury fight has come together with only a few days or a week of talks, and then the fight got made. This is what Tyson Fury has been making out over the past, couple weeks or so. Contrary to that, Shelley Finkel says actually the talk started, I think he says in June, and we're now in August. So the talk started a couple of months ago for this Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight. And given the fact that Frank Warren was involved, by his own admission, in a negotiation between Team Wilder and Team Joshua, it really makes you wonder what Frank Warren was actually up to. I don't know, but I'm just wondering what he was really up to, and maybe what Shelley Finkel was really up to all along. Frank Warren has said that one of the reasons that he was involved in the Wilder-Joshua negotiations was because BT Sport were interested in putting the fight on, showing the fight. Why is this interesting? Well, because this, I assume, would have been to do with the deal that Deontay Wilder's team offered Anthony Joshua. And the deal that they offered him would have taken the broadcasting rights and all that kind of thing out of Team Joshua's hands. You see? So in that situation, Frank Warren, incredibly, if, Joshua had accepted Wilder's offer, Frank Warren would have got to put Joshua versus Wilder on BT Sport potentially. Right? Because that's when Wilder's team would have been handling all the promotion and handling the business. They said that Eddie Hearn would have got superficial co-promotion in terms of he'd have been able to put his banner up there and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of actually the logistics, handling the logistics of the fight, where it's going to be, sorting out the venue, the broadcasters, that would have been handled by Team Wilder. So yeah, it could have been on BT Sport. And if Team Joshua had got wind of that, if they got wind of the fact that this fight could have been on BT Sport rather than on Sky, perhaps that's the reason why Team Joshua turned down that offer. Maybe Sky were like, that's not happening unless it's on Sky. You know that, right? That 50 million or whatever it is, that better be for a fight on Sky. You do understand this, right, Eddie? I've got no idea. I'm just speculating here, people. None of us have got any idea. We're all speculating. Unless we're insiders, unless we were in them negotiating rooms, then we don't know. You know, it is what it is. But I struggle to believe that Hearn and Joshua, and particularly Sky, would have been very keen on fighting Deontay Wilder on BT Sport. You know, on Joshua fighting Wilder on BT Sport. So that has to be said. Anything else? I mean, he just regurgitates the same stuff he said in previous interviews. He says Joshua didn't really want to fight, and it's only Team Wilder who wanted to fight, and all that kind of stuff. But again, it does make you wonder the fact that he's been so close to Frank Warren over the past few months. You wonder what was going on there, you know. Whatever the case may be, I hope, I pray, every night I'm going to bed praying that somehow, some way, Joshua versus the winner of Wilder Fury can be salvaged and can still be made for April 2019. I go to bed every night praying for that fight to happen. We'll see. But in the meantime, have a watch of this particular interview on The Boxing Voice with Shelly Finkel, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right? All that stuff. Is that what about?